Hello, I'm Langston, and I'm back on my channel, Gymlandia. Welcome to the Ratchet Podcast for Niggas, episode 5. 5 episodes of doing this. Like, I can't believe y'all have really been tuning in, watching this for so long. I've created a playlist on my channel to watch all of these. Oftentimes when I'm at work, I love listening to people like talk, especially Ratchet. I love to laugh when I'm at work, like typing up an email type shit. So I know a lot of you guys apparently listen to me when you guys are working. So if you ever want like a podcast, like joint me talking about all the topics, I made that for you guys to tune into. So, make sure to check that out as well as my video I came out with this week, obviously Black History Month, the month for niggas, about the history of Black women in gymnastics. A very well necessary video, very positively received by and large. So I really want to appreciate that. So I'm gonna be diving into all the crazy important topics this week, and chalice a lot of shit that happened this week. So, one of my favorite people that I like is Jessie Wu. She's a Haitian American. She makes little long podcasts all the time where she talks about like certain Black women issues and just issues in pop culture. And every month she comes up with a Black Women's Month. And I was like, you know what? This month is Simone Biles, Rebecca Andrade, Gabby Douglas month. Okay. Like this is Gabby Douglas, Rebecca Andrade, Simone Biles month. Okay. So anyway, I want to start off with the Jordan Childs Mama Beef. Child. So I'm sure all of y'all have kind of seen this if you're like pay attention to gymnastics on social media. So obviously, I talked about last week about the controversial things that happened with Jordan Childs, as well as someone telling her to change her music because it's too Black. First of all, apparently, I said it was somebody USA Gymnastics. Apparently, it's not somebody USA Gymnastics. So at this point, it's Casper the fucking Ghost because we don't know who the fuck it is, and I don't like that. Like, give us some more tea, some more details as who the fuck it is, so we can take action. You get what I'm saying? So I don't fuck with this at all. Like, I understand. I talked about that last week, but someone attacked Gina Childs, Jordan Child's mother, like, oh, what about all that money you stole? When you gonna pay all that shit back? I'm gonna put this shit on. And I'm baffled because what was the reason? Like like in Cardi B's voice, like, what was the fucking reason? You ain't have no reason to do that. And they got cleared. She read the motherfuckers like the Declaration of Independence, okay? Like she read them like Germany's international surrender after the capture of Berlin by the Soviet military, bitch. She read them motherfuckers, okay? And again, like, can you blame her though? Because it's like, why are you bringing that shit up to talk about my daughter's racism during fucking Black History Month? But then the day, Jordan Childs definitely is not deserves criticism. Definitely deserves it. Another thing is Suni entered into the Winter Cup. So we're gonna see Suni and Gabby at Winter Cup. Like um we're really excited to see all of this. Another thing I want to talk about is Trinity. Trinity could potentially be hurt. According to what I've seen from people that like inside sources I have that she's not hurt. She's just, preparing herself, I guess, like keeping her bodies. But girl, when you see a cast on, what's the move? Like, are you still good? Like, I'm still on her for some upgrades because I know this ruthless, but come for a spot. If you ain't coming for a spot, don't even waste the jet fuel. Like, don't even waste the Uber to get to the damn competition. Save your Uber money. That's all I gotta say, and that's for anybody. Don't waste nobody's hard earned time and attention to just be fucking around. And that's motherfucking that, okay? Not during Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, Rebecca Andrade, Black Women's Month, okay? Unfortunately, Zoe Miller and Jordan Childs have gotten injured, and unfortunately, they will be withdrawing from the Winter Cup. This is very sad, in particular for both of these gymnasts. I think Zoe Miller had a lot to prove to realistically be a contender for gymnastics anyway. But for Jordan Childs, she came off of a rough 2023 season, and I believe her and Zoe both were on the roster to compete at a World Cup. I'm assuming if everything went well. That was obviously the nominative roster, but this is really a problem for them. I think that Zoe Miller, she definitely needs to get scored on uneven bars internationally just to see what she would score. In my opinion, I don't think it would be too well, but I think that USA Gymnastics would need to see it. And Jordan Charles has a lot to prove to the selection committee. And you know, with this minor setback, this unfortunately could have huge implications if she will be able to go to Paris now, especially with all the drama going around. So it's really sad to see this. I really hope that we realistically see these girls get back in top shape by the time classics or nationals comes around, so they can realistically fight and justify their spot to make the team. But you know, it's really unfortunate to see this news. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about that on my channel. And I hope both of these girls definitely get back in good graces and, you know, are able to stand on business when it matters. Okay. So anyway, oh, let me give it to Rebecca because you know I love me some Rebecca. Like I said, I root for everyone black. I'm for real. But Rebecca blew my shit, bruh. Like this motherfucker's out here training a full end pike off balance beam. Are you fucking stupid? Like your ACL be fucking around on you, hoe. Like we just got you up to speed. We don't got you breaking history, and you know how your body is. If you are out here doing a full in double pike off balance beam, girl, are you serious? Like what? I ain't ever been so like you know. I was frustrated with Lisa's upgrades, but this was a whole new level of like, what the fuck are you doing, Rebe? Like Andrade McMahon. Like I can't. Like I'm really at loss for words. In terms, when I watched this, I was appalled. Like I know ain't no one allowing her to do this shit. Like be so fucking for real. Another thing I want to talk about is one of my subscribers wanted me to talk about the rise of Italian gymnastics. So Italy is rising in gymnastics. They have a really difficult team to make. A lot of big stars. The Amato sisters, Manila, Ferrari, you know, numerous other gymnasts. Isn't it Maggiano? So, you know, their team is going to be very difficult to make. Georgia Villa, very difficult to make. And, you know, Italy's been a country that's been capable of winning a medal this whole quad. We haven't really seen it. But obviously, with the downfall of Britain because of the Gajova sisters, as well as China's inconsistency, as well as France. You know, France they did put it together this time, but you know, France does not have that much depth, at least as of now. So because of that, like you know, Italy realistically has a really big chance of medaling, also with the absence of Russia. But you know, we're gonna really be paying attention. I am going to be doing talk. I'm going to be doing reactions, not reactions, but you know, I'm going to be doing like post uploads about the major World Cups. I'll do a post upload about European championships because a lot of y'all asked me to do that, and because y'all asked, I'm gonna do it. Okay, but personally, that's not really like the kind of vibe I do. But you know, I'll make sure to tune into that because y'all have specifically asked. So the first thing I want to now talk about is obviously, you know, a lot of pro-Palestinian supporters have tried to gaslight black people into supporting them. And let me just be real. A motherfucker would rather get struck by lightning. Like I'd rather wake up in North Korea than come on this bitch and advocate for Palestinians. And I won't advocate for Israelis either. Like I said, that is none of black people's business. That is not black people's job to advocate for y'all. And I'm tired of y'all people trying to force black women into this mammy role, you know, and try to make black women into mammies and to put their own issues on a back burner to help other groups of people. And you know, I said this shit a long time ago. It doesn't benefit black people to advocate for Palestinians. I don't owe you guys anything. I don't owe you guys one fucking penny. Y'all don't owe me anything either. But I know y'all aren't going to ever come to black people's aid. So I don't expect that from you, right? But yeah, like, you know, they've been doing this shit for a long time. And, you know, they had a lot of support from black people. And they still have a good bit. But they had, I would say, I want to say a majority, but a solid support from certain black people, especially younger, until they did what they did at that black memorial. You know, the memorial of black people that were murdered in Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston. They tried to make that memorial about fucking Palestinians. You will never see black people make a memorial about Palestinians about black people, though. You won't see that. So, you know, they will sabotage our movements to make it about them. And they've consistently done that. When black women have tried to talk about dying in childbirth at 3 times greater white women, they try to make it about Palestinian women that died because of the IDF bombing them. And that's unfortunate, but it doesn't have shit to do with black women. We're talking about black women dying from childbirth. What the fuck does that have to do with Palestinian women? So at the end of the day, you can have your movement without having to sabotage ours, but they can't do that. And every time black women advocate for someone, it will always come at the expense of themselves. And they by and large realize that you're not gonna bully me or black people as a collective into supporting y'all. You won't. And we don't owe you anything. And this goes for anyone. Anytime black women talk about their issues, what about Asian people? What about Hispanic people? What about Palestinians? What about Arabs? What about North Africans? What about Native Americans? What about all these other groups of people? Like they don't have fucking movements of their own. But they want to sit up here and make that shit about them when it's time to advocate for black women. Y'all gonna fucking go somewhere with that. Same thing for LGBT. Y'all do that too. And black women have been responsible for fighting for everyone's fight. They have given LGBT people basic human rights. They have fought for women. And that's why most black women don't identify as feminists. Because why would they put themselves under the label of feminists when feminists only usually helps fight white women's battles? It doesn't help fight black women by and large, right? So they have been the key factors of the feminist movement. They have given black people civil rights, and they a dramatic haven't really gained anything dramatic from doing any of that. So y'all not gonna sit up here and bully them and make them into mammies and sacrifice their image to uplift yours. You're not gonna sit up here and do that. And the truth is, that's what y'all expect them to do because that's the only thing you see them as good for. You don't see them as feminine. You don't see them as submissive. So you want to sit up here and make them into social justice warriors. And they don't have to advocate for no one except they damn self. They have every right to be selfish, the same way everyone else on this fucking planet is. And they don't owe y'all motherfuckers anything. So I will come on here and clock y'all motherfuckers like Big Ben every time because y'all gonna stop fucking doing this shit to black women, not during this Black History Month. So no, bitch, you will never see my ass come on here and post about anyone else or advocate for anyone else that is not black women because that is a specific reason I started this fucking channel. And no, this channel is not for women of color. It is for black women. I don't believe in people of color. I don't believe in BIPOC. There is no such thing as BIPOC or people of color because people of color hate black people just as much as white people and sometimes are oftentimes more racist than them. So you're not going to sit up here and come on here and make me try to change my narrative. That's not the reason why I started this channel. So now what? This channel is for black women, not people of color, black people. So stop with that fuckery. And another lie y'all want to sit up here and tell us, y'all want to be like, oh, we're all fighting the same thing. Palestinians are fighting the same fight as black people. No, the fuck they're not. Palestine is fighting to be what is it, an independent country. They're fighting a border dispute. Black women are fighting for the right to be seen as women. Who the fuck is out here calling Palestinian women men? Who the fuck is out here masculizing their image? Who the fuck is doing that to them? Who's out here mistreating them and trying to force them into changing their hair and changing their nose shape? You ain't gonna sit up here and ever disrespect us as a collective and put them in the same fucking boat. Because Palestine is one country. Anti-blackness is a whole damn earth. So don't sit up here and do that. Don't you dare sit up here and do that. And same thing for Israelis as well, right? Because Palestinians, they supported Black Lives Matter like the whole world didn't. The whole world marched for black people. They went right back to being anti-black. Jewish people have supported, they've been supporting civil rights for black people for the longest, but they also supported apartheid South Africa. Jewish people, by and large, are in control of the media, right? I'm not going to sit up here and create anti-Semitic narratives, but they're in control of those production companies. So when black women are complaining about people portraying them negative in the media, who's responsible for that? By and large, Jewish people. So if we're not obligated to support them, we're not obligated to support your ass either. It's called being neutral. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to sit up here and learn how to be Switzerland. Switzerland been doing this shit for a long time. If they can fucking do it, so can you. And that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. So again, a motherfucker gonna get burned alive before he sit up here and come on here and and advocate for Palestinians. He could sit up here and keep trying to bully me into doing that shit in my comments, but ain't no such thing. It ain't no mutually similar movement. Ain't none of that shit. And it's disrespectful to even sit up here and suggest that, okay? And the last thing I want to touch on is, obviously I received a lot of very positive feedback from my video, but I've also received, some bullshit ass comments. And, a lot of people wanted me to talk about practically every black woman in gymnastics, which is something I don't have the time to do. Like that video was already 13 minutes. And I'm only going to talk about major achievements that actually change gymnastics as a whole, not minor ass competitions, not minor accomplishments. Every black woman deserves their flowers, but be so for real. Like, not every gymnast is going to be introduced into the Hall of Fame. That was to talk about all the major breakthroughs that black women made in the sport. Simple as that. So no, I'm sorry some of these other girls weren't featured in the video. They did not break down any of those specific barriers. Another thing is a lot of y'all want to sit up here and act delusional as fuck when it comes to what blackness is. And I gatekeep blackness, just like we as a community, blackness deserves to be gatekeeped. Y'all not gonna sit up here and put 15% people that are only 10, 15% black and count them as black. Most black Americans are 25% white. They're 25% European. Am I a white person? No, I'm black because that's how the world sees me. So you're not gonna sit up here and put bitches that are not fucking black, who no one would think is black, into the same category as black women. Because when they cast those women in a movie to represent black women, then we're gonna be looking fucking stupid. So y'all don't even realize the delusion. And most of y'all motherfuckers saying that aren't even fucking black. So y'all don't force Asian people to count people that are 10% Asian. You don't force white people to count people that are 10% white. That's just fucking delusional. Can you imagine telling a white person, oh yeah, this is a white woman because she's 10% white? Get the fuck out of my face. Kyla Ross is only less than 25% black. Her dad is half black and half Japanese, right? And I know a lot of black people will say mixed isn't black. I'm not gonna sit up here and go that far. I think anyone that looks black, who is identified as black, is gonna get the black experience. To be black, you have to experience a negative and a positive. You have to, people have to see you as fucking black. There ain't no such thing as white passing or passing with something else. Then you're just simply not fucking black. Y'all know what the fuck black looks like. When someone says black, you have an image that pops up in your head. That's why on police reports, race is identified because you can identify who the fuck they're talking about. When you see a missing Asian woman, you think to look for an Asian person. When you see a missing black woman, you think to look for a black woman. So don't sit up here and act like you don't know what the fuck black people look like. And I know albinos, are whiter, etc., but look at their features. Like look at they hair texture, like look at their nose, all of that shit. And then Lori is she was I know black. She was a I know black, habla no black Latino, a Latina in 2016. She wasn't black when people were bullying Gabby Douglas for her nose, trying to make her get a nose job. She wasn't black when people were making fun of Gabby Douglas's, afro textured hair. She wasn't black when people were calling Simone Biles a man. She wasn't black then. But all of a sudden, she wants to be black during Black Lives Matter when it's beneficial. She wants the beneficiaries of being black without ever having to deal with the experiences. And it's just something that you've seen from, Danny Lay, from Evan Lozada, from Erica Mena, and all of these other non-black Latinas. They want to, make fun of black women. They want to bully black women. They don't want the backlash that black women get, but they want the privileges. They want the access to the culture that black people have. You got to clock these motherfuckers every time. Because no, not during this fucking Black History Month. And same thing for Elvira Taza. When you Google Elvira Taza, like look at her hair texture. Look at her. Like this does not look like what you think a black woman looks like. This looks very much like an Indian woman. When I look at this woman, I see someone who is from South Asia. I don't see a black person. When I look at that hair texture, I don't see Afro textured hair. When I look at her face, I don't see a black woman. I'm sorry. And y'all know what the fuck a black person looks like. And you have to question if someone's black when they're not. Oftentimes in America, unfortunately, we have white supremacist attacks. When you have someone that comes into a store and just lays waste to black people, this happens in Brazil, in South Africa, in numerous other countries as well, even in Europe. If a white supremacist walks into a store, oftentimes they skip over black people. I mean, they skip over white people they see in the store because they don't identify them as black. If they skip over you because they don't see you as a black person, then you're not black because you are not seen as the threat or the issue. And when talking about Kyla Ross, Carlotta Polito, she attacked Gabby. She attacked um, Simone Biles in 2013. She was like, I need to paint my skin to be black to win. She didn't attack Kyla Ross. And she didn't attack Kyla Ross because she didn't see her as black. She didn't see her as the same as Simone and Gabby. So it's a clear fucking difference. So y'all can sit up here and act like Boo the fucking fool and sit up here and be blind as fuck, acting like Stevie Wonder like you can't fucking see, but you know exactly what the fuck black people look like. So stop fucking with me. So no bitch, and the fucking audacity for y'all to come on here and act like these bitches are black women is so fucking disrespectful to actual black women who don't get to hide that shit. And actual black Latinas, right? Like Rebecca Andrade, like Diane Dos Santos, like Anya has to have to fight so much harder for basic respect in their countries. Because they ain't out here getting casted in telenovelas. They ain't out here getting those opportunities. The bitches like Flavia and Lori getting handed to them. Y'all sitting up here trying to act like y'all don't know what the fuck black is. Please sit the fuck down somewhere and go straight to hell on that fuckery. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into my Ratchet Ass Podcast from Niggas episode 5. Make sure you have a nice day, you guys. Goodbye.